get me the book of Deuteronomy. You know what I want? Deuteronomy. What's your name, my brother, first and foremost? Akeem, yeah. Okay, Akeem, yeah? Alright, okay. I'm Shiloh. I'm going to show you your history in the Bible, Akeem. Read. Listen to this closely, Akeem.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Unto who?
Unto all Israel.
Unto all Israel. So whenever you read about Israel or the children of Israel, it's referring to these people on the sign here. The so-called blacks, West Indian, Haitians, Puerto Rican. Those are the 12 tribes of Israel. Understand?
That's right.
They were black and the Hispanics. Understand? So the Bible doesn't pertain to Europeans. Just like what we've been taught in slavery. Understand? Jesus Christ is an Israelite. Jesus Christ was from the tribe of Judah, a black man.
That's right.
If you read the Bible, it says that he had woolly hair, skin so dark, looked like it was burned in a furnace. Understand? So that's first and foremost, we are the Israelites. We're not blacks, we're not West Indian, Afro-Caribbean, but those names don't mean nothing. You understand that, Hakeem? We're Israelites. God gave us Israel.
Bring it up.
It has meaning. I'm going to show you the meaning of Israel. Get me that before. Get me the book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 38. Because the reason why in slavery, what's your surname, by the way? If you don't mind.
Williams.
Exactly, Williams. You think that pertains to a European name or a black name? Where did you get that name from? Exactly, you belong to the slave master. But are you European? Do you come? Is your forefather European? Is your forefather English? Thank you. So what does that tell you? That we're wearing our slave master's name. You understand? Get me that. I'll show you your true name according to the Bible. Read.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 28.
Listen, Akeem, yeah? Listen.
And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob.
Thy name shall be called no more Jacob. So this is when God was changing our forefather's name to Israel. You understand? Today, we're telling you that your name is not Williams. You understand? Because that belongs to your slave master.
That's right.
During slavery, they forced it on you. It wasn't a case where you said, oh, I want this name. No. When you rebelled, there were cases where they branded it on you. Where you going? That's Williams, boy. That's Williams, nigga. That's reality. You understand? Read.
But Israel.
But what?
But Israel.
That's our name. But Israel. What does Israel mean? Read.
For us prince has thou power with God.
That's what Israel means. It carries meaning. As a prince has that power with God, meaning a prince of God. You understand? That's who we are. You understand? That's why they changed our name during slavery. You understand? To strip us of our identity. You understand? So that we can't remember who we are no more. You understand? So our name carry meaning. You understand? Get me that in Isaiah chapter 65 verse 15. I'm going to show you something about your name. I'm going to show you something why they made it so important to strip our names from us. You understand? Why they made it so important to call us Jamaicans, blacks, Negro, names that carry no meaning. You understand? Read. Isaiah 65 verse 15. Isaiah 65 verse 15. Listen to this, Akeem. Listen to this. So, if you didn't know, we are the Israelites. You understand? We are the Israelites. And according to the Bible, the Israelites are the so-called blacks that went into slavery. The Bible prophesied that we will go into slavery for disobeying God's laws. You understand? And we'll have to serve our enemies for everything. So yes, so that's what we're teaching. You understand? That's what we're teaching. That we are the Israelites. Why? Because for a long time we are dead people. Just look around. Look at our people. Look at our people. Dead. You understand? Why? Because we have no purpose. We have no purpose in life. You understand? We grew up. You understand? No one rose up and said, listen, you are a king. Listen, you have a purpose in life. We didn't have that. That's why a bunch of our brothers, they grow up, smoke weed. You understand? They don't do nothing. They're in gangs, no life, no purpose. You understand? Read.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 15. And ye shall leave your name for a cause.
And what?
And ye shall leave your name for a cause.
And ye shall leave your name for a curse. What's that saying? In other words, us carrying the name Williams, Johnson, Smith, and all those slave masters' names, that's a curse on us. That proves that we're a cursed people. You understand? baby mothers everywhere, that's a curse. You understand? Like unruly children stabbing each other, that's a curse. You understand? According to the Bible. You understand? Read.
Unto my choosing, for the Lord shall slay thee.
For the Lord shall slay thee. Why? Because there was a reason behind slavery. You understand? There's a reason behind why we're in the condition that we are. Because we broke God's laws. Because as a people, we have a connection with God. Why? Because we're God's chosen people. You understand?
That's right.
If you read the book of Deuteronomy, he said, if you obey my commandments, I'm gonna bless you above all nations. If you disobey me, I'm gonna curse you. Understand? And clearly, we disobeyed God. That's why we're cursed as a people. You understand? That's why, as a people, we're not high. You understand?
That's right.
We're low as a people. We're the last hired, first fired. You understand? Get me that in Deuteronomy chapter 28. I'm gonna show you why we went into slavery. Because a lot of people wonder, why did blacks go into slavery? Is it because we're uncivilized? Is it because we're weak? No. We're the most powerful race on earth.
Yeah.
You understand? But there's a reason behind slavery that they don't teach in school, they don't teach in church, and they don't teach us. You understand? They've never taught us. Read. This is the greatest knowledge that you're gonna hear. You understand? This knowledge has been hidden from us from ages.
That's right.
You understand?
That's right.
Read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So who's God speaking to? He's speaking to the Israelites. He's saying, if you do not listen to me, what's gonna happen?
To observe, to do all his commandments.
To observe, to do all his commandments. Read.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
That was a stipulation in law. Understand? Because if you examine the Bible, whenever we obey God, God raises up high. Understand? Because at one point, we were the top nation on earth. You understand? Blacks ruled the earth at one point. Understand? Believe it or not. They may not want to show it on TV, but rule the earth. But that's only when we're keeping God's laws.
That's right.
You understand? Get me verse 47.
Verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
He's saying because we didn't want to serve God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart. What that's going into is going to God's high holidays. You understand? You can read about Passover. That was one of God's holidays, Sabbath day. But what did we do? We rejected it, and now we keep Christmas. Now we celebrate Easter. Those are pagan holidays. Those are European holidays. Those are a curse on our people. We shouldn't be celebrating those holidays. Those are white supremacist holidays. You understand? Read.
For the abundance of all things.
For what?
For the abundance of all things.
You know when he says for the abundance of all things, my bro? But you know when he says, read it again.
For the abundance of all things.
For the abundance of all things, meaning for the whole earth. He said, if you keep my commandments, I'm going to give you the whole world.
That's right.
You understand? Read.
Therefore,
as a result of you breaking my commandment, what's going to happen to you, black man? Read.
Shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies. You understand? Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies. We're reading about slavery in the Bible. That's how we served our enemies. You understand? Because we didn't want to keep God's commandments. You see that? That's the sub-Saharan slave trade. That predates the transatlantic slave trade. That's when the Arabs had us in slavery. Ishmael, exactly. That's the so Ishmael, Islam. That's where we learned Islam from. Islam is not the black man's religion. You understand? That we learned that in slavery. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Read that again.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Read that again.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
You're hearing this? So it's God that sent the so-called Europeans against us. You understand? It's God that sent the Arabians against us. You understand? For breaking his laws. It's God that did that. You understand? There was a purpose for God sending our enemies against us. You understand? Read. What's your name, my bro? Andrew. Nice to meet you. We're teaching black history, yeah? Wisdom. Okay, my bro. My bro.
In hunger.
In what?
In hunger.
When it says in hunger, meaning everything, if we need food, and if you're hungry, what do? You eat, right? So in other words, when it says in hunger, if you need food, we'll have to go to our enemies to serve them. Why? Because as a people, we don't own the food corporations. You understand? We don't own the materials, you understand? The raw food. We need to go to our enemies for that. You understand? Read.
Okay, alright, so
And in thirst.
And in thirst, that's going into, if you're thirsty, we need to go to our enemies. You understand? The Chinese, black people, we don't own nothing. Understand? If you go to our communities, majority of it is owned by the Asians. Majority of it is owned by the Europeans. You understand? But the Romanians and all that. We don't own nothing. You understand? There's a reason behind that. Read. You often get 1 or 2 Caribbean shops, but even that, they get their food, they get their suppliers is from our enemies. You understand? Read.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness. You understand? Meaning for clothing. You understand?
alright, so good you helping my brother. My brother here wants to know why we can't identify, because he identifies as Jamaican.
Why,
it's not in the Bible.
Why we can't identify as
In
a
the
people.
Bible, like the 12 tribes.
Well, that's what we're touching. So all praise it. That's good. We're touching that. So make sure you listen.
Explain the same thing to my brother.
Say it again. That's who we are. We're Benjamin. You understand? We're not Jamaicans. We're If you're from the West Indies, you're from the tribe of Benjamin.
Yes,
You
right.
understand? Read. I'm gonna show you. Read.
And in want of all things.
And in want for all things, for everything, we have to go to our enemies for it. If we want food, if we want shelter, if we want education, we have to go to our enemies. Marriage certificate, you understand? We have to go to our enemy. We don't control it. The government controls that. You understand? Read on.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And what?
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
You know what yoke of iron is? Yoke of iron is exactly iron. Iron, you understand? On your necks. You've watched Mandingo, you've watched Roots. Iron on our neck. Are you listening, bro?
Where's Jamaican?
Ian, are you listening, yeah? He's saying our enemies will put chains on our necks. You understand? This is talking about slavery. You understand? Slavery is in the Bible. It's prophesied in the Bible.
That's right.
Proving that the Bible is a true book. The Bible is black history. You understand?
That's right.
That's the version of black history they don't teach you. They don't teach you, because during Black History Month they'll say, oh, you blacks were enslaved. And that's it. You were nobody, you were enslaved. But they don't teach us that we were the Israelites.
That's
And we
right.
broke God's laws. That's the reason why God put us into slavery. That's the reason why God put us into captivity. Why? Because we broke his laws. You understand? Read.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until what?
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until what?
Until he have destroyed thee.
So that's your answer there. You understand? In other words, our enemies will put a leash on our necks until we no longer remember who we are. Until we go by black, West Indian, Jamaican. You understand? When the yokes came off, that's when he said, okay, these are good slaves now. You understand? Because prior to that, we had an understanding of who we were. You understand? But the purpose of the yokes coming off is so that we can call ourselves by anything other than what God called us.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.